Do you notice anything about the right rear taillight in that video?
Yes.
What do you notice?
It's showing white and is missing the red taillight cover lens.
Could you stop, please? Do you notice anything about that still of that video?
Yes, it's consistent with its appearance of missing that red taillight lens.
If you could play the... When you saw that SUV in front of you for the time that you were there, that 5 minutes, did you ever, and you said that you saw brake lights at times, did you ever see at that point missing parts of its taillights?
No, sir, I wasn't observing the vehicle like that.
When the taillights were on, when the brakes were on, what color was the glow?
Red, sir.
Did you ever see a missing piece where it was white instead of red?
No, sir.
If you could play this, please. Did you have a chance to review this video?
Yes.
Is this at 5:07:58 a.m. on January 20th? Do you notice anything about the right rear taillight in that video?
Yes.
What do you notice?
It's showing white and is missing the red taillight cover lens.
Stop, please. Do you notice anything about that still of that video?
Yes, it's consistent with its appearance of missing that red taillight lens.
If you could play the... Thank you. May I approach?
See, this is what they're wanting us to believe. That with the red lens over the taillight, this is what it would look like. Bulb. Lens. See, it's red. That's how a lot of taillights are. The bulb is behind it. The lens makes it red with the lens missing. The white light shining through, just like Hank Brennan says. But in real life, this is what the taillight really looks like. I put that white bulb and lit it up and taped it to the front of the taillight to set an example of what they say it looks like. There is no white light inside of this taillight anywhere. See, the lens is clearly broken right there, and you can still see the red LEDs underneath that other clear plastic. It is all red LEDs except for the turn signal right there, which is yellow. It makes no difference with the red cover over it or not. The red cover has zero to do with the light. Makes the red light shine is this clear bubbly plastic. This is called the diffuser. The bubbles are in there so it disperses the light better. Watch how it all of a sudden starts lighting up. It'll just start lighting up, and if I click it into place, now that whole piece is lit up. Once that plastic diffuser is broken, it's like a fiber optic cable. Even if you put another piece up to it, it lights up a little bit, but it never lights up like a whole diffuser. Once it's cracked, it looks like that, and it stays that way unless you replace this whole piece, because once this is cracked, it's done. There's no more. It stops right where the crack is, but the light is still going down there. See how my fingers lit up? That light travels down the diffuser. The Karen's car is missing half of the one, and it's missing this whole one. See how the light stops? It just goes dark just by pulling the plastic away. Simple as that. This is the actual taillight that I used in the 25-mile-an-hour arm hit. Taillight versus arm. Only 4 pieces broke off of this taillight, hitting a human-like arm pretty much on the elbow, and this is all it did, was knocked 4 big pieces off of the taillight. There was no small pieces, 4 large pieces only. It did not break the diffuser. It did not break any of the LEDs out. It didn't break that plastic trim piece. And the way I did the experiment, I wanted to cause the most damage I could from an arm versus taillight. And all it did was knock the 4 pieces out. Now let's look at what color the LEDs are underneath. Taped it back together and I didn't think it would stick this good. Just regular tape. That actually held together remarkably well. Now this is what it looks like after that hit. The taillight is still red. There is one small scratch or something in the diffuser somewhere down in right there. There's a small scratch or crack or something. But this is what the taillight looks like after a 25-mile-an-hour hit directly on the elbow. And it broke the 2 bones in the arm. It broke the wrist, thumb. So yeah, it would have inflicted massive damage. But there is 0 white underneath it. Hank is trying to mislead the jury into thinking this is what's behind the lens, which I've clearly shown that it is not. This is an old school light bulb in an older car or in trailer applications. All taillights now are LED, but he's trying to make the jury believe this is what they are seeing hanging out of the broken taillight, shining white.
Recognize it to be.
That is the defendant's Lexus SUV that was seized and later processed. It's currently in the Canton Sally Port, I believe.
Do you notice anything about that right rear tail light?
Yes.
What do you notice?
It's missing a large red portion of the lens.
Is that consistent or inconsistent with the damage that you saw when you first saw that car?
That is 100% consistent.
Is that consistent or inconsistent with the damage that you saw when you first saw that car?
That is 100% consistent.
Is that consistent or inconsistent with the damage that you saw when you first saw that car?
That is 100% consistent.
When you arrived for the wellness check that morning, were you working as an investigator in any way?
No, I was not.
Did you happen to pay any particular attention to the right side of the back of that car that morning?
No, I did not. Have Canton, Mass, John O'Keefe's residence.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could play at this point. And Ms. Gilman, if you could play at this point. Lieutenant Ray, while while this is up on the screen, if I could ask you to, you've reviewed this video since this date of January 29, 2022, correct?
Yes.
You can see the water spots when it dried all over the taillight. It's on the diffuser, and in a brighter light you can definitely see it. But I mean, it's completely noticeable. This was hung in the middle of my truck. Probably waist height for me is probably 3 feet, 1.5. And it was in the very center of my truck. The camera was above it, probably 2.5 feet. So the camera was up close to 5 feet. My truck's lifted and has bigger tires on it. And even the camera got water on the lens. Because water goes everywhere behind your vehicle. Had it been snowing and full of salt, it would look like the other taillight. Furthermore, inside of the taillight, everywhere that the moisture gets is going to start corroding. Capacitors are corroded. The board has corrosion on it. That capacitor is actually, looks like it's starting to leak. But the board has corrosion. That part of the board starting to corrode. And then the housing. And this taillight is in the back of my car. Fixed to the back of my car in the last snowstorm we had. When you're driving, the wind whips up, creates a vortice, a low pressure area in the back of the vehicle. So the little bitty tiny droplets go everywhere. It gets in everything. And yes, they use salt in Canton. It's a proven fact that they use salt. So every time the snowplow goes down the road, they're putting down salt. They're trying to get ahead of the snow coming in. They don't just plow the streets and put nothing down, because that's pretty useless. They want to melt the snow. And this is what happens when you drive in it. The water spots get on everything.